Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play. We're gonna dive right back into Elite Zoo South. I've got a lot planned for today, as always. I mean, there's always so much to do. There's always so much planned. Really excited for today's session, but the plan for it might come as a bit of a surprise for some of you. Hopefully not. Hopefully I was crystal clear last session, though I know from time to time what I think is crystal clear isn't necessarily crystal clear. I've been told that across my life, not just on the YouTube channel. But last session, I was suggesting or hinting or implying or otherwise straight up saying that this session we might be adding the dingoes in, just so I can kind of take a step away from the beauty passes and maybe tackle something else a little bit. But as always, I read through the comments of the previous episode, read through some private messages and stuff like that as well, and quite a few folks would really like me to work on the warthog enclosure. Now, I've got nothing against that, of course, and I hope I made that clear last session, that it was really up to y'all and up to your voices in the comments to let me know what you would like to see in today's session. Would it be a beauty pass? Would it be the completion of the warthog enclosure, or would you rather it be the new animal, which again is like 99.99% almost certainly going to be the dingoes that we'll be adding up over here. Gonna go ahead and quickly save the zoo. I feel like that helped last time. We're gonna do that again today and hope that it actually helps and remove the little bit of jittery lagginess that we're seeing. But anyway, as I was saying, it was sort of between those two things, and I did say it was up to the comments to let me know what y'all were interested in and to influence what the ultimate call would be. And I have seen quite a few calls for attention to the warthogs, and as I've said countless times before, they have been top of mind. At the end of the day, the truth is, if they've been top of mind, why don't I tackle that first? So let's tackle that today. Well, I say we tackle that today, and then next session we'll add a new animal with, again, as much certainty as one can ever have. As I always say, nothing's ever written in stone until it is done. So that plan might also still change, and this is, again, just to clarify, because I saw a couple of comments about this as well. Just to clarify, anytime I express plans, do keep in mind that they're all fluid plans, right? Unless there's a deadline for something or the other, like there's a challenge or something that I'm trying to participate in, like a community challenge and whatnot. Everything's sort of fluid, and I do take a look at the comments and suggestions and the general overall feeling and consensus. And so, like I say always, folks, if you want to have your opinion heard, if you want to share your own thoughts, please don't hesitate to do so by leaving a comment down below. And of course, if you've been enjoying this series, please don't hesitate to leave a like as well as a comment down below, because it does make a big difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do, what I don't do, what I keep going, what slows down, all that kind of stuff. With that said, with that addressed, the time-lapse will be starting shortly. There's just a couple of things I want to tackle first. It won't take me very long, but within the next 10 or so minutes, we'll be kicking off our time-lapse, taking care of the warthog enclosure, changing the time if need be. Not going to wait for the sun to rise after the sunset, and then we'll dive right into it, get a lot of work done, and there's a fair bit of management work to do afterwards as well. Now, the first thing I want to tackle is actually, it had slipped my mind, evidently, that there was another request for an educator role. I apologize for that again, folks. If you ever want to remind me, feel free to do so. I do apologize for making the mistake in the first place, but I'm very grateful that you understand that it is something that can happen from time to time with the quantity of stuff going on. So thank you very much for your patience, and thank you for the reminder. We have our new educator over here in Vera Beast. There we go. And again, if I'm butchering that pronunciation, please let me know. Now, again, educators, if you have a specific spot you'd like to be working in, let me know. It's a bit more of a smaller scale decision, as opposed to keepers who will just go everywhere in a certain place. At least with the educators and I guess vendors, we can be a bit more specific. So if there's any interest there, let me know. And again, just as a reminder, folks, becoming a staff member or sponsoring an animal is specifically for channel members and patrons. I saw a lot of questions about that in the comments of the last session, so in case I wasn't clear before, just to clarify, it's just an extra little perk to express my gratitude for the extra support that comes in that way. So just as a reminder. Now, apart from just that, I do have a couple of great name suggestions that I want to implement as well, all the way up over here. And our zoo's really looking quite nice. I'm so pleased with how the lighting is working. Just flying through at night just feels quite magical. But We're going to rename Animal Talk 2 to... Where'd it go? There we go. Spotting Facts. It's really tough to pick names, by the way. I just want to make it clear. It's very difficult to pick names because there were some really great suggestions, really great competing suggestions, and I really have to like rack my brain over like, okay, well, what kind of a name have we not done yet? What kind of a name fits the idea here or the design angle here? Is it comedy? Is it serious? Is it pun? Is it, you know, super factual? Is it rhyming patterns? Is it alliteration? There's so much that goes into the decision-making process. But there were some really great name suggestions. So there's one. And I've got another one over here for the kangaroos, where I believe this is our active one, right? Yeah. Now this one is going to be... That's open. Kangaroo conversation. Yeah, kangaroo conversation. I'm so tempted, like, deep inside, to make that conversation with a K. I used to love that Mortal Kombat would do that all the time. Just make everything that's supposed to be a C with a K instead. It was the cool thing to do, and that's cool with a K for you. God. But that's those are a couple of the suggestions and all I got in the comments with regards to name suggestions, and of course the missed new educator as well. But beyond that, I do want to very quickly again. So the trains. Here's the thing about the trains. I always get so much like I don't want to. Okay, so I don't want to call it contradictory, but it's totally contradictory advice with regards to how to make. Oh, this is looking beautiful. Look at that. Look at the glow. Oh, that's looking great. Go ahead and where's my select all is up over here somewhere hidden. There we go. Turn you off. I hope this becomes a thing that the game starts to remember sometime in the near future, because I certainly don't. But anyway, yeah, so when it comes to the trains, I've been receiving a lot of contradictory like suggestions, and that's not to say you should stop. I welcome all theories and plans and ideas because, I mean, I sure don't know what's going on half the time with the rides. So I welcome, again, all suggestions. But it is quite funny because I do receive contradictory suggestions. Some say, oh, change the load size. Some say, well, no, you want max wait time but not min wait time. So I'm going to experiment. We're going to try one of them. I'm going to go ahead and do quarter load and don't block station. And we'll get rid of the minimum wait time as well. Let's try that, I suppose. Sure. Now, my concern with doing the quarter load is that sometimes trains are running pretty empty, and so maybe we won't hit the quarter load. On the flip side, sometimes trains are super busy. But if a train books it right after it hits a quarter load and there's still like 20 guests still waiting to move, that's also a problem. So either extreme, with just having the minimum rider load set, feels like is not a good idea. But we're going to try it. Hopefully in tandem with Don't Block Station, it will at least force trains to keep moving if they're taking too long to get to a quarter load. We'll see. We'll see. So Don't Block Station, quarter load, no minimum, no maximum. Alright, we're going to do that. I do want to do the same on the outside as well. Sure, let's do it. Let's test one theory at a time, right? One theory at a time. We'll see what it does. It's fun. This whole thing is funny to me because it's been a quote unquote problem since Elitsu North. It's been problematic there, but manageable. But it's always bothered me because I want this stuff to work smoothly. I want it to work as intended. We have a really cool transit system over here with our trains. I want to see the guests using it. Oh no! Come on, clicks work. Get here in time. I did. Okay, good. Oh. When the clicking doesn't work at, like, integral moments like that, my heart stops. I get a little upset. Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let me take a look at the numbers over here. A couple more things I want to do here quickly before we dive into the time lapse. And contraceptives. Who else? Well, I just put you on contraceptives. You are the Queen of Kenya. It always gets a laugh out of me, the Queen of Kenya. Good stuff. Alright, you're not really the best option, are you? We do have Yori over here. Why don't we bring him in? Inbreeding. Option, inbreeding. That's why. That's why we don't bring him in. Combovelo, inbreeding. Option, inbreeding. Okay, so they're the same thing. Might just be time to get some new males. That's usually the solution to this problem, right? That way our A star over here is able to mate away. We'll get you guys done. Humble Velo, let's go ahead and send you to the trade center. Humble Velo, yeah. Wonder if I got that name right or even close to right. And over here, want to check? Yeah, okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a new male. Oh, hey, conservation credit's looking real good. Looking real good. Look at that. Look at that. Some good trades going through. Some trades expired, but, you know, at least we got a couple trades going through. We'll try some more trades out. But for now, I am in the market for a red ruffed lemur. Where you at, buddy? I know my alphabet. Red ruffed lemur. There we go. The alphabet. So important. Who'da thunk? Let's flip the pricing. I'm sure they're lower price, higher quality. Look at that. 97. Not the best size. Let's see if there's someone for like 100 something that's got a good size. Male as well as what we want, of course. All these, the naming convention. I love to know what people are thinking about with their naming conventions. Because I'm curious. I'm curious how different people organize the conversation for themselves, you know? Let's go with, you know, I'm feeling like Aja or maybe Majoro over here. 83, 83 is not bad. Sure. Now, you know what? So I've always wondered about this. Do I need to get these guys into quarantine first? Does that really make sense? Because they're from another zoo. So they should be okay to, like, go right into an enclosure. Although, I guess, you know, you don't know which zoo they're from. You don't know what kind of things they vaccinated or against. Like, I'm not sure of the details of how that stuff works, but you know what I'm getting at, right? Like, things are a little different, I suppose, between zoos. But that's not the only animal I wanted to trade in. I also want to, very quickly here, take a look at our capuchin monkeys. Because it's been pointed out to me that I might actually have there. Wait. Not how this works. Wardo, buddy. This is not how it's done. This is not how we get me more capuchin monkeys. Close. Not quite right. I think we need one more adult. That's been pointed out to me. We need one more adult in here. Tifa's about to have offspring. Good for you. Now I don't know if that's the problem here, but you know what? I'm willing to try anything. By the way, those of you that were a little saddened or upset at me sending or rehoming the older capuchin monkeys last session, I just want to clarify. I too grow that level of attached to these pixel animals, and that was not an easy decision to make. However, the circumstances of this whole breeding issue is what drove that decision. I'm not sure what's causing the breeding issues, and one of the suggestions I received was to do with, well, maybe it's because someone's been left as the alpha or something, and it's taking that into consideration. So maybe a little bit of rehoming would do the trick. That's where that decision came from. I don't know if that did it. Maybe not. So far, it seems like it hasn't. We're going to try this next, which is to try and reach that adult population to what it's supposed to be. And then failing that, we're going to send, this was another suggestion from the comments, we're going to send all of the monkeys into storage, and then we're going to bring all the monkeys back out and hope that that maybe does the trick and they finally start breeding again, because it has been forever since they last bred. Anyway, folks, it has been forever, feels like, since we started this episode, and it has been forever since we've worked on this enclosure. Now, I've got some pretty big ideas. You could say I've got some pretty pig ideas. So let's not waste any more time. Folks, it's time-lapse time. All right, folks, I am quite surprised in many ways, I guess, with the end result of today's time-lapse. That's not to say it's not to say it went not as planned, but it certainly went differently than I'd initially kind of envisioned it in my head, and it's probably different from what many of us thought I was going to do with the space, and including myself, for the longest time now. Up until, I would say, like, maybe even as late as yesterday, from the time of this recording, I sort of changed my thinking of what I want to do with this space, because it's been something I've been on the fence about for a very long time, and now that the time had finally come to make a decision and to establish the final look and layout of this space. It was, well, it was time to do that, I guess, is the only way to put it. The first order of business, as you can see, is to actually arrange some more viewing spots. It was a bit of a struggle, actually. It's really weird to me. For some reason, the barriers were not curving. I tried null barriers, I tried glass barriers, I tried, all the types of barriers that typically curve, and they just weren't doing it. So instead, we have to work with some hard edges over here. Not a clue what happened. Wasn't able to go in afterwards to curve them or curve them beforehand, but it is what it is. But yeah, as I was saying, the first order of business is actually to establish a few more viewing spots, because I realized that right now, the only spot from where you can view the warthogs is if you are already checking out the lions, and then you check out the lions and you go to the left side, and then rather than continue on to the giraffes and the zebras, you decide to take a detour in through the hut that we'd previously built that you can see on the far side over there, which wasn't really conducive, I suppose. The other option, of course, is you come up over here, you go through that hut that I was talking about, and then you end up at the train station. Maybe you take a train elsewhere. Point being, I felt like any guests that were coming from the entrance up the stairs from the lions and headed towards the giraffes and zebras, and then perhaps on the boat ride over to the far Africa West section of the zoo, they would very possibly have to miss or take a detour to look at the warthogs. And so I wanted to avoid that. So you saw I just established a new viewing point that is kind of tucked away in the corner over there. And then now I'm establishing another viewing point that's right next to all of these stores over here. So now if you're coming off the boat ride and you want to go, let's say, see the saltwater crocodiles, you can do that, and you can still check out the warthogs. You can still check out the lion without having to take that detour I was talking about earlier. I feel like that works. Oh, also I should mention, if you're coming from the boat ride, you come up over here, you shop, you can check out the warthogs, and there's something I'll actually do after the time lapse, because it occurs to me later, but I'll actually be setting this road up over here that you see, this little path over here. I'll be setting that up so guests can go to the train station without having to go all the way around the entire enclosure, and then around the lion enclosure, and then to the train station just to get to Australia, if that's what they're planning on doing. Anyway, I feel like this adds a lot of efficiencies and a lot more viewing points. I don't know how successful it will be, but time will tell, especially as the space becomes a bit more busy. Now, from an aesthetic perspective, I've been pretty nervous, I suppose is the term to use, about some of these spaces. I've been doing a lot of research, like little by little, over months now, and I'm not even exaggerating, months, because it is a couple of reasons. It's a type of architecture I'm not very familiar with. It's a region of the world that I'm not very familiar with from a kind of like visual perspective. I haven't seen a lot of references and things like that, so I've been looking around, digging around, and there's a lot of nuance that isn't often very clearly communicated out there. And again, if you follow this channel, you're probably familiar with this, but I like to be very wary of the nuance. I try to be careful about that kind of stuff. Obviously, I make mistakes from time to time, I'm sure. And when I get called out on them, I welcome it, because I do want to correct my mistakes. But I try to avoid them in the first place, and so I try to do my research. I try to do my, sort of cover my bases. And it was taking a very long time, because what I didn't want to do with any of the Africa sections was just kind of be like, oh yeah, here's typical, quote-unquote, stereotypical African imagery, and this is what African buildings look like, mud huts and straw roofs, and all that. I don't like that. I feel like there's so much more creativity to be explored. There's so much more opportunity to be explored, and obviously, like, there are rural spaces where housing and all is like that, and we are going to be referencing that stuff as well. But there are, as I found thanks to my research, some very, very cool blends of that kind of traditional aesthetic and quote-unquote modern aesthetic, as we would term it. And that's, to me, where things start to get interesting. And that's where it's just like, okay, cool, now we're paying homage to historical construction methods or traditional construction methods, while also integrating into, again, quote-unquote modern sensibilities, as one might term it. And that's where things start to get really interesting. And again, I was doing all this research and I was trying to find, the nuance and the difference between different parts of sub-Saharan Africa specifically. I'm a bit more familiar with Northern African aesthetics and whatnot, but sub-Saharan African stuff, just I'm not familiar with it. So doing all this research, found a lot of really cool stuff. I'm actually drawing a lot of inspiration from buildings that I have seen out there. I believe the one I'm pulling from here right now, when I say pulling from, I don't mean like a one-to-one pull, but it had like this lattice rooftop thing going on. And I believe that was actually in Kenya, if memory serves me right. But initially, rather the reference is a rooftop that has like, pillars on all sides and it's like supported structures and whatnot. But I was like, oh, why don't we take it another step and make it like a cantilever, I believe is the word. So it's all supported from that one, point at the end there, and it hangs out. And so again, it's this very like futuristic aesthetic, but it's built using wood. And on the other side of it, we have the the thatched roofing. And here you can see again, I'm taking a look at some of my references right there. That was a long pause over there. But yeah, it's been interesting for me from a research perspective, and just from like it's definitely been on my mind quite a bit. It's something that I was like, I don't want to say wary of, but I wanted to do it justice, I guess is the way to put it. And I hope y'all feel that I have done it justice. I hope y'all like this kind of look I'm going for, where with the warthogs we have basically half of it is, full-fledged traditional. On the other side, we have the mud walls, we have the thatch roof, and then in the corner as well, we have the thatch roof and stuff like that. So, a lot of it is using that kind of traditional, quote-unquote, what we expect, what we're shown on TV and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But on this side, we have that blend that shows how these, like, traditional elements not just can be, but are modernized. I don't know. For me, it's an interesting bit of exploration. I hope y'all agree, and I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from, because it's very easy to misunderstand what I'm trying to say over here, but I hope y'all understand what I'm getting at. Now, on the note of being inspired by cultural references and stuff like that, I wanted to try and recreate some of the I'm going to butcher this pronunciation again, Maasai people's bead patterns. That's why I was looking at the beads and stuff as well, because they have some very beautiful patterns and whatnot. And I was trying to recreate that. I was looking up a lot of references of that stuff as well, to see what I could try and build and use to decorate the spaces. I got something going over here, but it didn't really fit the rest of the space, so I axed that idea. But they have a lot of these triangular shapes. They have a lot of circular patterns as well, very specific colors, and each color evidently represents a different thing. Colors having representational meanings or connotations is a thing we're all familiar with, but obviously different cultures and different people have different connotations for different colors. So I'd like to tap into that at some point in the future as we expand our Africa regions. Specific to regions that culture would fit, obviously. But yeah, it wasn't working out over here. It felt like, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. Maybe I have the wrong pieces selected or something. So I decided to set that aside, went around, put down the education boards, put down the donation bins as well. And then I wanted to build a little spot over here, a little like, oh, I forget the word again, even though I literally say it right after the time lapse. Well, burrow, I guess? I wanted the warthogs to have some space to run around in, and I wanted them to have a variety of, I wanted to change their terrain up a little bit. Since it's just going to be them over here, I wanted to give them, you'll see me use the rough and brush and stuff like that, just so there's a little bit of undulation of the terrain and stuff as well, just to freshen it up a little bit. But definitely happy with how this space looks overall. Hopefully the warthogs are happy as well. Again, maybe a little different than what we were all expecting going into the time lapse, but I'm quite pleased with the end result. And again, I do hope you all are as well. Again, adding a little hut there in the middle, because one of the initial ideas I had was to make the interior space be like a little village. It felt a little too similar to Yanasi Plains, and it also felt a little too crowded when I, started thinking about it closer and closer to execution time, so to speak. But I do put kind of a little hint of that with the little toy in the middle. But folks, that is it for the time lapse. I hope you enjoyed it. Back to regular speed. All right, folks, we are back from the time lapse, and I am overall pretty pleased with how things went for that time lapse. Again, maybe slightly unexpected with regards to the direction taken there. I'll be honest, it wasn't exactly what I had in mind at first either. Well, when I say at first, I mean many sessions ago. I was expecting to do a lot more within the space and add more structures and stuff within the space. But then as I was contemplating it over the last, couple of days and the last little while, actually, I realized I wanted to create some more viewing platforms, if you will, positions, spots, however you want to call it. But I realized that, like this is great for people who are going up this way and might want to go towards the train, or going up this way and then might check the lines out from behind. But what about folks that are going over, this way to the zebras and the giraffes? And so I thought, all right, well, why not establish another viewing point over here, which might be a fairly popular one. And then I got maybe a little carried away, and I was like, well, why not have another viewing point back over here that blends the architectural styles that we've been using, or I say we've been using, but that I have used and I intend to use in this space. What I ultimately decided on trying to do over here is try a modern sub-Saharan African aesthetic. And I'm sure I talked about this in the time-lapse. I hope I talked about this in the time-lapse. But that's what's going to drive the overall aesthetic in this area over here. So I wanted to try and see how we could do a blend of that up over here. Beyond that as well, I mean, I'm curious to see how the animals interact with this space now that it's been changed a little bit. I hope they're not blocked from interacting with their, toys and stuff like that. But I did notice while I was looking around that their hard shelter is down to just 11%, which really shouldn't be the case. Unless this is not counting as hard shelter, it really shouldn't be the case. I imagine it's just going to do a recalculation of the terrain and stuff, because I did rough it up a little bit as well. We'll see what it does. And I've been told that they like jumping off of things and jumping, up and down. They like a bit of verticality, so I thought I'd include this, like, kind of a... think of it like it's like a... I don't know if I want to call it a rock formation, but it's a terrain form, a soil formation, I suppose, that I kind of picture as one of their, what's the term? Oval? No. Yes? No. Like burrow, I guess, is the closer term. But it kind of like blends into this structured piece, which is kind of built in an old-fashioned way, and then that blends into a more modern iteration or translation of what one might consider local cultural architecture, I suppose. There's a lot of interesting stuff, actually, that I've seen in terms of references of, again, sub-Saharan African. It's always important to specify, and even sub-Saharan Africa is such a massive expanse with so many, with so much variety. I've always hated the generalization of Africa as like this one homogenous entity, and it bothers me so much, because it's like, well, how can you refer to such a varied space in one term? So I try to always be clear about it. And then even sub-Saharan Africa feels like too broad a brush stroke. But I mean, again, even the game just says sub-Saharan Africa. It's like, okay, cool, and that's perfectly fair for the game to say, because obviously the game is talking about its like habitat region. It's not talking about the countries, the cultures, the people, the whatever. So it's fine, obviously, for the game to do it. But when I'm talking about it, obviously, this part of Africa is very different from this part of Africa. Just like, this part of Europe is very different from this part of Europe. But anyway, sorry, I digress. There goes my rambling again. But yeah, so I've seen a lot of really great inspiration and references coming out of, I think, largely Kenya. It's like Kenya and South Africa have been the biggest responses, like to search results and stuff like that. Like when I go looking, those are the biggest kind of sources I've been finding. So you're going to be seeing, hopefully, me execute some interesting stuff over here. A lot of it, the reason why I'm so nervous about the space, partly is because a lot of it is very, I'm not sure how the game pieces and how the game's construction systems will allow for those for that kind of work. Sorry, I digress again. Y'all know me by now. This is par for the course. Let's go ahead and unpause and take a look at how our guests interact with the space. We'll take a look as well at if these new viewing platforms actually see any use. We also want to keep an eye on, of course, the hard shelter over here. Enrichment's kind of low. Hard shelter. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, you know what? It must just be because there's some... Whoa, look at that. Recalculating the terrain, I think. It must just be because there's so many of them. So let's go ahead and empty the space out a little bit, actually. Now, if I'm not mistaken, are we over our limit? I know we've checked that a couple times recently because, I mean, look at this space. It's super crowded. 17 and 6. Oh, we've got to be over our limit. 17 and 6? That can't be right. That can't be right. 17 and 6. No, no, no. No, 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 no. That's way overboard. It's way overboard. And when did it get to this? Let's send you to the Trade Center alley. Onawa. I can only hear that in the way that Moana's like name is sung in the movie. Got offspring en route. There's so cute. There's so many of them. All right, I need to I need to get on the ball over here. Why do I have so many of them? How many males all of a sudden became adults? Is that the problem here? A couple of you. One of you. Actually get the 3 of you maybe in the trade center. Now we've got 1 male, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 female. That's obviously unacceptable. More of you releasing into the wild. I shouldn't have put them to the trade center. I should just release them to the wild. There we go. Our pregnant warthogs are still here. Okay, good, good, good. Over to the trade center really quickly, because I'm going to release them to the wild. Again, otherwise they're just going to sit here forever and nothing's going to come of it. Come on. Oh, right. I forgot you can't multi-select. Release to the wild. Go. Be free. Have a wonderful time. And, of course, this thing won't pop open automatically. It's just these, like, little things. It's just... Click. Click. If it works. Click. Cool. Back here. It's just like that loop is unfortunate. This is dad number 2, so I'm going to keep you around. Liza over here. Go ahead and release you to the wild. Yep. I was like, maybe it is automatic and I just missed it the last time. Nope. Gotta click it. Fair enough. Manawa over here. Go ahead and release you to the wild as well. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. There we go. Talking about clicks. Okay, what are we looking at over here? I think we need to get a few more of them out. Let me see what they feel like about their space. Okay, okay, buddy. Slow down, slow down. Well, clearly they can still interact with their toys, so at least there's that. Enrichment's looking good. Hard shelter's looking okay. Wonder if there's a couple more females to trade out. Of course, we have the 1 male and a couple of females, maybe Malika over here. Not trade out, but release into the wild. Away you go. And does that do what I needed? 71% hard shelter. Who else? Who else? Hera over here. Barika on the older side. Good there. Hopefully that does the trick. 76%. Like I'm okay with that. It's green, so I'm okay with that. We'll see if it actually works out or if it upsets them. I think I just saw a jump over there. I just barely caught the end of it. Let's get some long grass in here, maybe. Because these guys are not happy about their environment right now. Over here. Alright, much better. Perfect. They used to be unhappy. That's so cool. Nah. It looked like this little guy was leaving a little trail behind, but my eyes playing tricks on me. About to have some offspring over here. Let's head on over to our quarantine real quick, because we have you. Well, both of these guys are ready to go. Start with you over here. Move you, hopefully, to bring us some babies to Kusiyuasi. And Mijoro over here, we're going to move you to for Simeon Plaza. There we go. I was so worried I was going to click on Gorilla Grove by mistake. Now, it's not that they don't get along, but can you imagine being this little guy next to these massive gorillas? It'd be terrifying. Alexa about to have some offspring. All right, good stuff, good stuff. Have they? Yeah, I'm curious if the game is using RTX for reflections. I need to remember to look that up. I'm very curious if it's using RTX for reflections. Because that would be a big part of why the water looks so much better ever since that recent aquatic update. Anyway, sorry, I just wait, June, July, August. We're still not too late for the koala birth. I just always get thrown off by it because it does look so much better. Now, actually, one thing I forgot to do. Many of you pointed out that one of the reasons why guests might be littering over here is because the multiple... yeah, I think we're seeing it happen right now. These guys right now, for example, I think they're carrying some garbage in their hands, and they're not sure which of the 2 bins to use because that's just how intelligent they are. And I think they just go, you know what, I don't want to carry this around anymore. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. See if that helps their decision-making process. Yep. See, now they tossed it in there. So that's what it is. That's silly. These guys are doing the same thing over here, marching back and forth. Not sure which way to go. All right, here, go this way. There you go. Well, there's that problem solved, hopefully. The eagle-eyed among you that pointed that out. Thank you very much. It's been... but remember, the only reason there were 4 bins over here in the first place is because there was litter happening on the floor. So it's like, is that really the solution to the problem? Or is that just the solution to a different problem? And the original problem will still... will come back now. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. And to those of you, by the way, who are asking when we were going to revisit this space and rework the, like, add more, like, continue our beauty passes and stuff, it'll be after the dingoes are added. Don't worry. We're not, like, neglecting anything, but the koalas did get a fair bit of love when they were first put in place. That's why they felt relatively complete compared to some of the other spaces. Though, of course, there is these, like, large gaps when it comes to completion, the outer ring and this space over here. I've got some big plans, but of course I've got big plans for these stations across the board. You're going to see these train stations and the I should just say stops for the rides as well, all get done up and decorated and made gorgeous. And look at this. See, this is the kind... Okay, what happened? What happened to Don't Block Station? See what I mean? It's always something. It's always something. Always something. Okay. You gotta have a minimum wait time, though. That's so... Alright, 60, 90, don't block. That's what we're doing right now. 60, 90, don't block. Sounds ridiculous. 60 seconds when there's no one there. Sounds ridiculous. Glad I checked. 60, 90's got to be enough time for people to get on. See, the problem is in how the game starts counting down load time. It doesn't wait until everybody is off the ride before starting the countdown. It starts the countdown as soon as the train arrives. And that would be fine if people left the train in a reasonable manner. But they just kind of like amble about a lot of the time. They stay seated until the last possible moment. All this kind of silly stuff, goofy stuff happens. And then they leave. And 60 seconds or 20 seconds previously was like done in a snap. And the people who are waiting in line are not able to get on. Okay, are you prioritizing the quarter load now? Or has the maximum wait time restarted? Kind of want to see what happens over here. This is ridiculous. Such a major backup over here. And up over here, you can see these guys are backed up as well. I don't know if... Working better previously, I think. We're going to try this next. See if that does the trick. Again, minimum load is a quarter load. But that doesn't mean leave as soon as you get it. You should leave when you hit 90 seconds. These guys must be super grumpy right now. I would be really angry. I would be livid. I would be livid. Can't even blame them. Waiting to see what happens when the train arrives from the other side. Or is that train stuck somewhere? Just sitting somewhere. Feeling like it might be the case. Yeah, look at that. Oh my god, look at that. That's terrible. No wonder so many people have backed up. Oh, that's horrible. Alright. Good over here. Want to make sure. Yeah, we're fine there. Want to make sure. And we're fine here. That's too bad. That really is too bad. But this is what I mean. This is why I'm always like at a loss when it comes to these things. Because it's like, well, what's the perfect balance between all of these factors? What's the... How do you keep things going constantly? Why is Don't Block Station not overriding all of the other settings? I got 1,000 questions. I got 1,000 questions. Also, I love how this sign looks. Sorry, just a little mini distraction there. Wagner's about to die of old age. Oh, damn. Buddy's been with us for a long time, hasn't he? Been with us for quite some time. About to die of old age. Do we have another giant anteater to replace you? Oh no. Just died in the water. I did not know that was a thing. It didn't used to be a thing. I don't think it was it? Damn, okay, well, time to get right down to business here. Place our giant anteater male. Where are we? Marcus and Francisco are the kids. Katarina's about to pass away as well. It looks like she's on the older side. Older than Wagner was. Alright, let's go ahead and get ourselves a giant anteater. Where are we? Giant panda. Come on, scroll for me. There we go. Giant anteater. Oh, 7,300. Are you kidding me? No wonder we have such middling genetics. All males over here as well. 6.5 years, male. Decent stats, 7,000. It's expensive. That's expensive. Let me see something here. I don't have any, eh? Okay, cool. Thing is, they're good stats, and I wonder if I can't get good stats out of these good stats and then use that to my advantage. Let's go for it. 7,300 is not the end of the world. We've earned a fair bit in recent times, and hopefully that trend will continue. Maybe with some good giant anteaters of our own, we'll be able to, you know, make this kind of money off of giant anteaters. We do have 2 males. If they have good stats, then that'll be... I doubt it, though. Where are your kids? That one? Marcus? Ah. Actually, you know what? These aren't bad stats. These are not bad stats. And now that I check the genealogy over here, I realize that Francisco might have actually been a viable mate. But not one with high quality genes. Because it didn't say who are your parents. Unknown mother. How do you have an unknown mother and you're a baby? What? That doesn't... Huh? That doesn't compute. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Weird. But nonetheless, that's... I'm not going to say that's too bad because, truth be told, these stats are really not that good. They're actually quite bad. So I'm fine with that 7k that we spent. What do we got over here? Adopt and place 4 different habitat species. Good stuff. Keep crime below 5 incidents for 3 months. That should hopefully not be a problem. I've never seen... I don't think I've ever seen that. But hopefully that's not too much of a problem. We don't really have that much crime, I don't think. Also, I just want to say really quickly, I'm happy to see the response to the upgraded zebra stripes on the pavilion here. Because I'm very pleased with how the new style looks. Did I miss the birth? I missed the birth, didn't I? Gotta fix this situation. Where? Hold on. Where is? Man, I mean that's just my luck, obviously. No, I did not miss the birth. I thought you were due in like August or something. Or is this a new pregnancy? Okay, January of next year, right around the corner. I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. We do have a problem with the kangaroos, though. How did I miss that notification? That's wild. Let's see on contraceptives. You're infertile. The Rani over here, I imagine, is inbreeding with all of them, right? Yep. Time to find a new male over here. Irani. Go ahead and send to the trade center. Where is our other male? Unfortunate that I have to, you know, trade him out or rehome him or whatever, but otherwise all these ladies are just kind of waiting for him to croak, and that's not, you know, ideal. Rehome you, buddy. Go ahead and over to the zoo, over to animals, and over to our red kangaroo. There we go. Get all of you off contraceptives. Irani was the alpha, but again, just to clarify, it would be inbreeding across the board. Much better for us to just go ahead and get a new red kangaroo. Hopefully not too expensive. We'll find out. Red kangaroo. Not too bad, not too bad. 1,200 is not bad at all. Sure, let's go with you. It's much better pricing than, much better value than that 3,500. All right, over to unpause here. Quarantine, if I can find it. There we go. Want to make sure I don't drop a kangaroo in a lion's den, in a literal lion's den. Alright, good stuff. That'll do the trick there. And let's just take a look at how people are interacting with the warthog space. And again, I'm not necessarily expecting an immediate response, but one can dream, one can dream. Because again, it's all a matter of which direction people are going and where they want to engage and whatnot. So we'll see what order they want to see the animals in as well. And I wonder if eventually I'm going to like loop this back over here, because that might encourage more movement from people as well going through this way. Or coming through the boat. They might come up this way and then opt to go this way instead. We'll need a little bit of tweaking for that though. We'll need to move the... Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. Can I do this sort of a thing? Seems as though I can. Now, I don't know if I'm going to make this a viewing side as well, because at one point it's just like, that's too many viewing sides. But if I can build this loop over here, we may very well see guests come around this way. Move you out of the group, please. Nudge you up over here. And back to the paths. I do have to fix the work zones. Come on. Come on. There we go. I'll take it for now. We'll make some adjustments. Again, we're still working on this space, right? Overall, we'll make some adjustments, but that might actually facilitate guest movement. Work zones, though. Africa, I believe this falls under Africa Center, partly. Sort of a shared space, isn't it? You guys in there as well. Come on now. And Africa, we have an Africa Center West, don't we? Oh no, right, it's Africa Center, Africa West. Alright, okay, we're good. I believe the overlap was maybe with the center. Yeah. Any more offspring for the warthogs? They have so many babies. It's kind of like overwhelming. Cool. That ought to do the trick. We'll see. We'll see if there's any response. I mean, it's definitely good for our staff, apparently. We'll see what the guests say. Alright, cool. We have hit $1 million, I think, for the first time in this playthrough. For the first time in this playthrough, I think we've hit 1 million. And, not gonna lie, that feels good. This vet's like, is this kangaroo dead? Why are you injured? Why did you arrive injured? This is our new kangaroo. Here we go, all patched up. It's wild to think about our financial path this series, this season. It's been a wild one. You know what would be absolutely wild? These guys would just get on this train. The 90-second maximum wait time, right? Go, 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 go. I believe in you. I believe in you. Yes, keep going. There's more room on this train. Keep going. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Now if they get stuck, I'm fine, because that's like a full train, basically. Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay. Thank God. Because honestly, that was not ideal. Now, that's just one station, though. We don't know if it's the same everywhere else. Over to Pachamama's garden with you. I missed the birth, didn't I? Despite making... The time moves so weirdly. Time moves so strangely. Did I seriously miss the birth? God, of course. Of course. Of course I did. You smirking at me? Looks like a smirk, doesn't it? Man, I'm I'm a little annoyed at myself. I'm a little annoyed at myself. But there's just so much going on. There's so much to do. I guess it's not bad, right? It's just I'm distracted by the other animals needing care and all that stuff. But I wanted to catch that. I can't believe I missed it. If I missed it, it's okay. There will be more. There will be more. Our male is not yet infertile, so all good. Just got my head in my hands right now. It's like, God, how? Overall, things are looking okay though. These guys are done with their quarantine. Are we facility inaccessible up over here? Yeah, it said that previously as well. I wonder if I should just like nudge it over a little bit. If that'll make it okay. Seems okay for now. Fair enough. Ooh, guests coming up this way, but not yet that way. Again, there's quite a few ways to end up over here. And once this area gets more busy, which it will do very soon, I think we'll see more people taking the boat ride as well. All right, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Doing pretty good. Now, I wonder if there's like some more VFX work I would like to do. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to prioritize, because again, VFX work can only be done in real time. Can't do it during a time lapse or anything. I'm trying to figure out if I want to like do. Whoa! Look at this crowd. Absolutely jammed up over here. But yeah, if I want to do some simple stuff like, especially up over here, some stuff like, where are we? Falling leaves. Not necessarily all that far up, like somewhere over here maybe. Don't look like you're falling, you look like you're defying gravity over here. Line to surface is on. Yeah, or we got a couple different variants, right? That one does not look like the right kind of leaf. Pop one of you down over here. And not just over here, but also where I feel like it tells a bit of a story over at Pachamama's garden, because again, we've got the whole, like the lighting tells that story, right? So I feel like that kind of like works. Perpetual fall over here. Down. I don't want to overdo it either, because like they're nice touches, but if you overdo it, they start to look really weird. I find too many falling leaves. It's already obviously artificial, but it can be done tastefully, I think. Yeah, that looks good. Do they have things like fireflies and stuff? Nah, they don't. That would be really cool. That'd be super cool to have like little like fireflies or dragonflies or whatnot hovering about, getting a little glow late at night. Obviously, VFX is maybe a little weird. What is going on over here? Learn how to walk. Oh my god, do I need like traffic lights for you people? When did it get this messy and why? I mean, I guess there's the baby Baird's tapir that's drawing some attention. That's always a big attraction, the baby Baird's tapir. Giant anteaters are also actually making a fair bit of money. These monkeys getting down to monkey business? Nothing yet? Anything yet? Want a pregnant monkey. Not a sentence that I thought I'd say any time in my life, but here I am. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing. We got nothing. Let's take a look at one of them. Right, let's just see what's going on over here. Like, have you been stuck up here literally all this time? No, can't be, because then you'd be hungry and thirsty and whatnot. Everything's good. You're happy across the board. One tree that bother. Okay, two trees that bother you, but you know, not a big deal at all. Enrichment is good. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And if everybody if anybody out there does, then please share. Please share. What do we got going on over here? Spotting facts is inaccessible. I don't understand why it says that. Well, okay, let's just do a little move and place it right back down. Hopefully that'll fix it. It seems to have fixed it for the other one. Hopefully that fixes it for this one as well. It's actually about to start. Maybe that's why it popped up, because it's about to start and now it's deemed inaccessible. June's about to come through in about, you know, a fortnight or so. I want to see if people actually congregate over here or not. They should be here already. If people are, want to go to Riverboat 4? I mean, you can make that happen, buddy. Get something to drink? Apparently not. Dangerous animal has escaped. Oh, God. What's going on over here? Did you see that jump? He didn't actually escape. Oh, it looks so cool. Did it seriously forget that? Come on, man. I set this up. I fixed this. Beginning of this session, I fixed this. Starting to get a little frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. Go ahead and select all over here. Keep a couple of you around. More room for babies. We'll need more options for babies, I guess I mean. Pretty low fertility. Alright, let's over to exhibit trading then. They're old though, aren't they? Old, I'm pretty sure all of them. Get you in there. And you both in here. If we're lucky, that does the trick. I have my doubts, but we'll see. And it's okay if there's a handful of them in there. They actually prefer larger numbers, so that's fine. This congestion is killing me, though. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do about this, because we don't have any benches in the way. There's this bin that I suppose I could move. I mean, is this... I guess this bench might be blocking people. So I suppose I could sort that out. What are you running for? I'm smoked. Western lowland gorilla has escaped. No, it has not. So it is June, and looks like we, in fact, do not have a talk over here. It is assigned to the South America work zone. South America work zone. Okay, let's check over here. Spotting facts. Dude, it's open. I assume South America Center. Where are we? There. And here. Yeah, okay. I hate that it's gonna pop me right back out. Maybe it's just, yeah, too tightly packed. Set you to August. Move you out here. That might do the trick. We'll find out. There's a decent crowd over here right now, though, so that's cool. That's cool. Well, yeah, we'll see if the animal talks actually work. Starting, you know, next month or whatever, like soon. And this is still absolutely wild. It's I don't know. It's been difficult to spot their functioning because there's just so much going on. The zoo's gotten so large, and there's just so much going on at all times. And it's gonna only get even larger, folks. But that's gonna have to wait until next time when we add the dingoes. Again, still doing some additional research. I feel like I forget the correct pronunciation. I've been corrected. It's not Uluru, but it's Ularu. I forget now, and I apologize. But I saw the comment. I've noted it down. I didn't think I'd be saying it today, so I was like, okay, I just need to remember it for next time. But in my research, it seems as though it might be a little might be better to not do that approach. So I might have to try and come up with something else for the dingoes. And again, as I've said before, if you have any thoughts, suggestions, opinions, or feelings, feel free to share them down below. But I will be doing some research of my own as well to see what we might want to do with their space. And hopefully adding a new animal will reinvigorate the Australia section and bring more eyes over here. Good session today. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. I'm finally glad to have sat down and done some work with the with our lovely warthogs over here. I hope they're quite pleased with the space. And I hope you all are pleased with the space as well. But of course, let me know if not or if so. Folks, as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who have been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big ol' thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.